Good evening, Greta.
Good evening, Alan. And tonight, well, this could be it. The big development we've all been waiting for. Did someone crack the Natalee Holloway case? Dutch crime reporter Peter de Vries says yes. De Vries says he solved the mystery of Natalee's disappearance through an elaborate undercover camera operation. Is this true? What did he find? So now what? Will Aruba authorities make an arrest again? Now, 18-year-old Natalee Holloway disappeared during her spring break trip in Aruba in May of 2005. And join us live in New York is John Q. Kelly, Natalee's parents' lawyers. Good evening, John.
Hey, Greta, how are you?
Good. So, John, this is like when all of a sudden we all started getting our Blackberries going off and getting lots of messages from Aruba and all over. So what's the story on this undercover operation? What can you tell us tonight?
First of all, Beth had just left me a voicemail yesterday that she was heading over to the Netherlands. She said it could be important, and she'd fill me in today when she got there. The next I heard were the press releases from the prosecutor's office, and then I actually spoke to Beth, and she indicated she had gotten over there at Peter de Vries' invitation, had viewed some videotape, listened to some audio tape, and was just rather astonished at what she had seen and heard.
Astonished, or like, I guess not ecstatic isn't the word to use, but I mean, no. Does she have answers? I mean, did she convey that to you that, aha, now I know? Was it that kind of thing?
It was a couple things. One, she was satisfied that what she had seen and heard was authentic, and secondly, she just felt that some of her questions had been answered, and some of the information she had been looking for, she felt she had now.
Is this, I suppose that we don't know much, I mean, we're not hearing much about it because the television show wants to save it to break it on Sunday, is that right?
That's right. Just talking generally here now, Greta.
All right, and I take it you know, but you can't tell us, is that fair?
I know a little more detail in terms of what I've been told is on there, but we're not talking about right now.
All right, well, can you tell us anything else that you can tell us before I start trying to trick you into telling us?
I hate when you trick me, Greta. Just that it's someone basically making admissions in terms of what happened the night Natalee disappeared, in terms of what happened to her and why she's disappeared, how her body was disposed of, and why she hasn't been found.
All right, now obviously it's huge how the body was disposed of, because well, that's giant. Now, let me just ask you one quick question.
Sure.
If the information is was the information sufficiently detailed, or was the disposal such that the body could now be recovered? Because obviously that would be giant in making out a case.
It's my understanding from what I've heard that it would not be possible to recover the body at this time in the manner of disposal. And Greta, I think it's going to be pretty simple. Seeing is believing, and this is something that's to air Sunday night. I think everybody's going to have the opportunity to see for themselves and judge for themselves. And I hate to even talk about something that's just basically going to speak for itself when it does air.
Well, we don't yet know. Maybe you do. Maybe you can help us out. The circumstances surrounding it. Whether it's a situation where he's sort of like cleansing his soul, and saying this is what happened, or whether he's sitting around drinking beers at a party and trying to be a show-off and making stuff up. I mean,
I know it's not a confessional. It's admissions. It's my understanding it was a rather lengthy, for lack of a better word, sting operation that was developed over a period of months. Someone developed a certain level of trust and confidence, and ultimately a lot of surreptitious video and audio taping was done, and a lot of alleged admissions were captured on this and are going to air Sunday night.
Is this an uncut statement, or is this some of an undercover operation and then they sort of butted different sound bites together, cuts together, because that, of course, would be an issue if there are any cuts in it?
Of course. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be straight running for, 10, 15, 20 minutes period of time, or, if there are hours and hours and hours of audio and videotapes that were logged, and they're just going to use what they see as the most relevant, or, the most damning admissions or most substantive admissions. I just don't know, Greta.
Are you able to describe to us, who was the one who gained the confidence of Joran? Was it a friend, a teacher?
It's anything? My understanding it was a peer. Someone in the same age group, someone that spent time with him and was with him over a period of time.
All right, now our mutual favorite topic: the public prosecutor in Aruba. Have you heard anything about whether or not he has seen the tape? Whether he intends to do anything with the tape?
It's my understanding he's seen the tape, and as a result of the tape, they've gone before an examining judge, an initial judge again, and you know, it's the same thing with this press release today. He sort of talks a little bit in circles, indicating that they're going to keep investigating, you know, take another look at this in light of their other, you know, evidence and make decisions down the road. So I haven't talked to him today, Greta.
All right, well, I'm just going to tease the audience with one other thing, is that John Q. Kelly is now representing the Kathleen Savio family, and there is giant news, and John's going to probably join us tomorrow night with it, but we're also going to talk a little bit more about tonight. But it is big. It is big news. So anyway, John, I'm not going to ask you about that tonight. Just tease the viewers with it. So thank you, John.
See you, Greta.
So this breaking news must be rattling one person. At least that person rattled tonight is probably Joran Vandersloot. Or is he rattled? Vandersloot has been arrested more than once in connection to Holloway's disappearance. Joran Vandersloot's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, joins us live in New York. Joe, I know you're going to say your client's not rattled, but you know, if someone said, I have a tape of you, even if I hadn't done anything wrong, I'd be rattled.
Oh, you know, maybe, I'm sure, you know, rattled. He's been arrested twice, detained without charges and subsequently released. So, you know, I'm sure there is a sense of being concerned that this is going to happen again, Greta. But, you know, I think the prosecutor in Aruba should concentrate more on doing an investigation instead of giving these ridiculous press releases that say much to do about nothing. You know, they have new evidence, maybe, I have it in front of me, that may impact the investigation, that may have some value, but we can't tell you what it is. Just put this down, stop writing press releases, and do an investigation. Let's see what happens on Sunday. What I will tell you is this. There's nothing that could come out of this episode on Sunday that's going to convince me, my investigators, or anyone with intimate knowledge of this case that Joran had anything to do with Natalie's disappearance.
All right, stop for a Now, you know that I spent time with your client.
Yep.
I have said in the past, after spending time with him, that I'm, quote, inclined to believe him. Right. I didn't say that I was 100% because I figured he could have lied to me.
Like 99, you said, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I was inclined to believe him. However, if there is a tape in which he gives details that only the killer could know, and that could be corroborated with any sort of physical evidence, that it wasn't sort of, you know, something fanciful. I'll tell you one thing: my inclined to believe would be quickly lifted because you know, and that tape could be huge.
It could be huge, and we talk in these hypothetical senses, but remember this. You know, this prosecutor, and I don't know if you know this, but this prosecutor, Greta, had this tape over a week ago, okay? This didn't just happen today. The reason this prosecutor came out with a press release today is because DeVry, or whatever his name is, put this on his website that he was doing a show on Sunday.
And so, we started calling.
Right, and today, the prosecutor's release, if you read the wording of his press release, was very careful to say, they are not sure of the value of this. Now, if they had this tape for a week and they're still today not sure of the value, let's not hold our breath. We've been there before. We've done that. And before we get too exercised here, let's let it play, you know, play the part of being investigated. Let the tape come out, and let's see what it says. Now, again, there's context and things that are maybe out of context. And I think before, you know, and I've spoken to Joran, I've spoken to his parents tonight. They've spoken to Hans Moss, and there is no concern that this is going to lead to a revelation that's going to inculpate Joran Vandersloot. So that's not the issue.
Have you spoken to Joran?
Yes.
Okay. And did you say, hey, Joran, guess what? I just heard there's a tape of you?
Well, you know, we had a conversation, Greta, but as a former attorney, I'm sure you know that attorney-client privilege thing.
I mean, there's nothing privileged about what you say. There's nothing privileged what you say to him. It's what he said. Did you tell him, hey, Joran, guess what? There's a tape.
Thanks, counselor. No, I'm not going to go into my conversation with the client. What I will tell you is I walk out of that conversation and tell you that I'm as determined as ever to stand here and tell you that he had nothing to do with her disappearance.
Of course, you know what, Joe, I'd say the same thing. I mean, I know the same sort of gobbledygook, of course.
I wouldn't say the same thing. I wouldn't be here tonight if I didn't believe that. I wouldn't say the same thing. I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe it.
Are you kidding? A good lawyer should be out defending his client. What I'm asking you is, you know, what does this tape say? What are the circumstances under which the tape was made? Those are you know, that's the important part, and whether or not it can be corroborated by any physical evidence.
That's exactly the key. And the prosecutors had this tape for a week, and they are not sure that this has any value to their investigation. They've not sought permission to rearrest Joran or anything like that. So all I'd say, Greta, is I certainly haven't heard it. I don't know, and I'm not going to sit here and speculate, like, you know, about what the value of this tape is. Let's see what happens. I'll be here on Monday if you need me, and we'll chat a little bit more.
And the fact that he hasn't made an arrest can cut either way. Either one, he's learned his lesson that maybe he ought to investigate first,
oh, there's a good
unlike
idea.
what happened in December, or it means that there's absolutely nothing there. I mean, those are the two choices.
That's it.
All right. See you Monday, Joe.
See ya.